Welcome to another run here at American Truck Simulator. So, like I said, still no change of the truck. Like I said, I like this truck the way it is. We got a load of cables going from Fresno to Vegas today on this run. So it says it's going to take just about 8 hours to get it done. So I have to probably have to get trucking here pretty damn soon. We're gonna have to take a nap pretty soon, so we only got about another hour before that happens. But anyways, cables tipping the scale at 43,500 pounds. There's some dude back there waving his hand at the door. But anyways, so we got plenty of time to rest. But like I said, that's only gonna be about another hour till we gotta get going. So, anyways, without further ado, I'm gonna shut up and get trucking. And like I said, I like watching the axles go up and down. It's pretty sweet. Go ahead and take a screenshot real quick. But anyways, hope you guys are doing well. Last episode we were talking about the laughing stock. The laughing devils. But anyways, so talking about them and stuff like that. So, but like I was saying, we go back to that. I was talking about that. If you want to know more about it, I guess just watch the previous video. But the thing that's, like I said, is stupid in the whole thing, the reason I know it's fake, is simply the fact that the shit that they're supposedly doing would never be filmed. It would never be, there's no real biker club would allow themselves to be filmed doing that kind of shit. So it's one of those things where I really don't understand why that. It's like, really? You want to have this quote-unquote real show, but then you're going to have actual filming of stealing cars and shit? Or stealing bikes and blowing shit up? No. That doesn't happen in real fucking life. No, there's no fucking way they'd allow that shit to be filmed. So, really, dude? Stupid fucking AI. But yeah, it's all for television. It's all for that kind of shit. So I just, and like I said, the shit that they're pulling, you know, you just go off on your own and fuck up the quote unquote rival club's motorcycle without it going to a club to vote on retaliation. No, you'd be kicked out immediately. So it's like, I just, yeah. I mean, there's shit that happens on the whim and all that kind of shit, but it's, you're more likely to be kicked out for doing something that's stupid that brings a bunch of negative attention to the club versus patted on the back for it. So, but yeah, like I said, it just goes back to the whole fakeness of it. It's not at all legitimate. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Obviously, like Sons of Anarchy and Mayans, that shit's not real. Does it happen in clubs? Yeah, it does. But is the drama played up? Yeah, it is. But at the same time, it's not passed off as a real club or as a real TV show or as a necessarily a real look into biker life. Is it an idea? Sure, I suppose. But it's not that's not perceived as real and put out there as, oh, this is some real shit, because it's not. Yes, I know you're getting tired. Let's see. Oh, we got a rest stop coming up. I need to get fuel anyways. Yeah, we got a rest stop. Oh shit, up there. Yeah, hopefully you don't run out of fuel. Oh well. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that the whole show's a joke. I mean, you can't play it off as real when it's clearly not. And all that. But, anyways. So, finished up the second season of Mayans on Hulu there. So, got that watch. And holy shit, that show's got a lot of crazy shit happening. Lots of plot twists. Holy fuck. That is one of those awesome shows. And like I said, is it real? No, it's not. But it's not. It's just played off as a television show. It's not played off as being real. But anyways, so yeah, I watched that and the second season, and holy shit, I mean, it's just fucking crazy. All kinds of shit going on. People getting dirt, people getting fucking shot to shit. Holy crap. That is holy shit. I mean, it's fucking, that show is insane with all the shit that goes on in it and all that kind of stuff, because it's just like, it's one of those things where when you're constantly having shit going down, kind of makes for pretty good television. And I can kind of makes me understand why they made The Devil's Ride about that fake club. But anyway, it's one of those things where, does drama make television? Yeah. But the thing I like about that is there's a story, there's a basis, there's actual heart in the story. It's not just, you know, played up reality TV for television. So, and the other reason I kind of like it is Easy and Angel Reyes. You know, their brother, you know, them being brothers and stuff in that relationship, it kind of reminds me of, my own, honestly, with my brother. So it's kind of part of the reason why I like it. But like I've said before, I honestly like Mayans almost better than Sons. Just mostly for that fact. But, like I said before, Sons is a good show too. Which actually my wife and I are starting that over again, watching that. But anyways, so yeah, a lot of crazy shit happened on Mayans. A lot of things solved, but then for everything that was solved, another another question popped up. So it's kind of gonna be just as crazy next season. So son of a bitch, I sneeze on every episode now. But anyways, but yeah, it's pretty insane. A lot of crazy shit happened and all that kind of stuff. So it'll be definitely interesting to see what happens next season. So more fucking rain. Jesus. It's a bombed out crack house. That's a great place to pull over and rest. I think if I would have had my way, I would have pulled in that gas station or whatever. Back there ways, but which I'm gonna end up needing to get gas pretty soon here. So. But yeah, a lot of crazy shit went down. A lot of interesting things, and there's definitely gonna be a lot of shit shaking up for next season. So who knows what's gonna happen. But I am pretty definite in saying that there's probably going to be a pretty good sized blow up with the cartel and the MC next season. I mean, not to mention the fact that what's going to go on with between the Mayans and the Sons now, possibly, and all that. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? It's probably gonna could be a giant shit show. But it's anything could happen, at this point. But the writing of the show is kind of it definitely follows in the footsteps of Sons. Mostly because obviously Kurt Sutter had a part of it, but his co-writer and co-creator of Mayans spent time in prison and stuff like that. So there's definitely a certain amount of authenticity that is obviously brought to it because of him. So it's one of those things where it could be a good thing maybe that Kurt Sutter got fired from it because it's kind of opens it up to maybe new things, but it also could be a bad thing. But the reasoning for Kurt Sutter getting fired is, well, it's because FX is owned by Disney now, and he made a joke about Disney, so it's like they didn't particularly care for it. So next thing you know, he gets shit canned. Which is honestly kind of my fear for shows, like Sons, like Mayans, coming into this thing, especially being owned by Disney. it's like not every fucking TV show needs to be some fucking Hannah Montana lovey-dovey fucking, there's got to be a moral and a lesson learned in every episode, and it's got to be, kid friendly and all. No, go fuck yourself. It's no, that's, and honestly, with Disney owning Fox now and FX and shit like that, it's just like I don't particularly care for it because it's one of those things that now are they gonna tighten the clamp down on more on shows like that, or is it, I don't know. I just think Disney's a monopoly, and pretty soon they're gonna end up controlling fucking 3/4 of what you watch on television. And it's just like, that's, if I want to watch a bunch of fucking dumbass Disney movies, I will. But if I'm not wanting to watch all that shit, then go fuck yourself. And I'm sorry, but whether or not, what Kurt Sutter said was, yeah, okay, it was a joke against Disney. It came in the beginning of the second season, very first episode. It was when the joke was in the show. And Disney knew it was coming. So I don't really understand the whole thing about that, but I guess it is what it is. So, but it's kind of what concerns me, is it's like, okay, now if you're gonna clamp down on this shit, and all of a sudden the guy who created this show basically created this whole, I guess you could say, universe, this whole thing. It started with Sons. If it wasn't for Sons, the Mayan spinoff wouldn't have happened. So you go ahead and fire a guy who's in charge of, one of the people in charge of your biggest money-making show, one of the biggest drawers of viewers, because of a fucking joke. Now, Hitler was a known anti-Semite, and the way they're acting right now, kind of very Third Reich-ish, in my opinion. I mean, if you're gonna shit can somebody for what they said, their freedom of speech, like, really? Nah, that's, quite frankly, to me, fucking bullshit. And I don't understand what the need was for it. Especially when it's a TV show. It's a big drawer of, your viewers, your revenue, shit like that. So I don't know. I think it's probably does come down to a bunch of bureaucratic bullshit, but at the same time, there's a reason I'm not really a huge fan of Disney. Because it took them forever to make any sort of real adult content or anything not pointed at kids. So, for me, why they're then getting to tell people what needs to be said on an adult-oriented show, I mean, go fuck yourself. I just, no, I don't understand when you take over a company like Fox. Okay, then you need to understand that their guidelines and what they choose to do, and the shows they wanted to produce should continue without you have your nose in it and all that kind of shit. And it's like, what fucking short-haired Karen must see the manager bitch got all bent out of shape about a fucking joke about Disneyland in the first fucking episode of the second season. Like, seriously? You knew what you were getting into. I don't know. It's, yeah. I don't. How much longer is it before Disney owns fucking YouTube, for fuck's sakes? I mean, really, they own Hulu, so. Which I guess doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because now, then, instead of putting things on Hulu, yeah, let's own Hulu and then also have Disney Plus. So you gotta pay twice to get everything that Disney owns. So it's like, seriously? Bunch of fucking morons. But I guess it is what it is. I mean, my wife decided we needed Disney Plus as well, so yeah, I end up with that. So but yeah, anyways, so second season of Mayans, watched that. Yeah, I got that all caught up and watched, and gotta say, definitely looking forward to season 3. See what kind of crazy shit happens. So it's one of those things where, like I said, Disney having their hands in it, is it going to change the show completely? Is it going to not change anything? Who knows? I mean, oh shit, dumbass, wrong button. Who knows? I really don't know. It might not change shit. But either way, I mean, getting fired over saying a joke that's part of the course as far as what the TV show is, to me, is fucking stupid. I think somebody just didn't like him. Didn't like Sutter. And, you know, I've heard he kind of can rub people the wrong way, but when you're involved in the creator of one of the most talked about, one of the most recognizable, one of the most viewed, one of the most, you know, money-making shows, I think you kind of have the right to be a little bit proud of what you've done, and kind of get to pick and choose, you know, who gets to be involved in the project and stuff like that. Because at that point, now somebody else, getting somebody else involved in what you've created, ultimately can fuck with your life. So, I don't know. Me personally, I just feel like it's, I don't know. to have your creator be a known anti-Semite, and then a bunch of Nazi-like behavior coming from said company. It's a little fishy, is it not? It's like he's speaking from beyond the grave. But who knows? We're in the middle of bumfuck nowhere. Holy shit. But yeah, so definitely looking forward to season 3 and see what that entails, because a lot of crazy shit happened. Like I said, a lot of loose ends still not tied up. So who knows? But it's definitely a good show, and I'm glad it lived up to all the shit that Sons lived up to. So, but like I said, got my wife watching Sons. She was into it, but not really into it. I mean, she always kind of came into the series, you know, part way and kind of confused by things and shit like that. So, but it's one of those shows you kind of gotta definitely watch it from the beginning to understand the end. So. But you know, it is definitely a good show, and still a lot of people, you know, watch it. So a lot of people still talk about it. So, but either way, either one of those shows, whether you're talking about Mayans or Sons, I'm telling you, it's definitely better than The Devil's Ride. I'm honestly partway through the second season. I'd only really seen one or two episodes of the first season before, so when I started watching over, I was like, okay, well, this shit's just kind of probably played up for, you know, the debut season or whatever the hell. And the more I watch it, the more stupid it is. I mean, am I gonna finish it? I'm not gonna lie, probably, just because I started it and it's like, whatever, you know, I've gotten this far. Just kind of more or less hoping things were gonna make a turn for the better, but clearly didn't happen. So I don't know, we'll see. But it is that way with a lot of shows, you know, reality TV. The days of the sitcom are kind of, I don't know if sitcoms are kind of gonna go to the wayside, because you really don't see shows like Friends, you know, that kind of show necessarily in the limelight anymore. So there's not a really bunch of those, you know, kind of sitcom type shows. It seems like there's a lot of, you know, reality television and like drama television shows. Which, I'm sorry, but you'll never catch me watching Grey's Anatomy either. There might be people who don't agree with that, but that's never a show that I've ever gotten into. I've tried watching it, and I don't like it. I fucking tell you the truth, I can't stand the show. I don't like it, not even one bit. I just don't like it. There's way too much drama. There's way too much stupid shit that would never happen in the, you know, medical field, in my opinion. But it is what it is. And the other thing too is I can't fucking stand Katherine Heigl. I think she's a bitch. And from watching bonus features on other movies, she is a bitch. I mean, not for nothing. She doesn't seem like a very good person. So I don't know. That's another show I never got into. I never got into The Walking Dead. Just never have. Don't really like it. I don't. For me, the whole zombie thing is completely fucking played out. It's like there for a while, everything was fucking zombies. Like, who gives a fuck? Find something new, find something different. Not everything has to be zombies. Not everything has to have zombies in it, you know? So it's just like, for me, the whole zombie thing was played out long before that show ever came out. Because it seemed like every fucking video game had zombies in it. Every fucking TV show had some mention of fucking zombies or something stupid. You know, there was cartoons and shit with zombies, and it's just, there's some things that just get overplayed and all that kind of shit. Is it gonna happen with, like, biker type stuff? Yeah, probably. There's plenty of shows about bikers. I just think biker clubs and one percenters and stuff. I think it's fascinating. That's why I like to watch a lot of stuff about them. I like to talk about them because for me, it's kind of interesting. When you think of organized groups and stuff like that, you're always thinking of Bloods, Crips, mafias, mobs, stuff like that. And so that stuff's kind of interesting. But there's a deeper level to it than zombies. It's like zombies are just. I'm fucking sick of seeing it. I kind of am. I mean, there for a while, it was like every other fucking movie had zombies in it. I mean, like fucking World War Z and fucking I Am Legend and shit like that. Not to mention, how many movies before that, Dawn of the Dead or whatever the hell you want. Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. That came out a while before those, but it's kind of the same shit over and fucking over again. There's not really any new shit. It's, oh my god, these things are coming to kill us, and we gotta group together. But not before there's some kind of dick measuring fucking contest and shit like that. Oh my god, these people eat brains and shit like that, so they all gather up in a compound or fucking mall or whatever the hell. So it's like, it's kind of the same shit over and over again. And you see the same shit with vampire stuff too. I am so fucking sick of seeing vampire shit. It's just, and I love my wife to death, but I swear to God, if I gotta sit through watching fucking Vampire Diaries or originals and shit again, I'm gonna fucking snap. It's just, I'm sorry, but I don't. No, it's another one of those things. Kind of the same shit over and over again. And don't get me wrong, maybe it's a little bit hypocritical because I watch a bunch of shit about biker clubs, but at the heart of it, shows like Sons and Mayans, there's people who are involved with clubs. Happy Roman, it's pretty well known he was a Hell's Angel. They've had Hell's Angels like Sonny Barger on the show. So, there's an authenticity to it. There's not really any authenticity when it comes to fucking zombies and vampires. It's all made up shit. And there's never any, for me, there's never any, kind of basis on that shit. There's never, in one show, vampires are made by one way, and the other next show, it's completely fucking different. And nobody ever says anything, wait a minute, well this wouldn't actually happen if you compare it to this one, or blah 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 blah. And I don't mean, there's no such thing as, you want a certain amount of originality, but there's so much conflicting, I guess you could say, folklore or facts maybe? I don't know what you would call it, but there's so much conflicting information. So, in all honesty, that's part of the reason why I don't particularly like that show. Because it's like, you watch this show and, vampires can only be made if you want. If the vampire wants to create another one or whatever. And then the next fucking thing you watch, it's like, they all fucking, as soon as you bite somebody, bam, another vampire. Okay. But it is what it is, I guess. That's why when I was a kid I used to love the show Gunsmoke. There was an actual story, an actual heart behind it. But the other thing too that I see, especially with the Tiger King, that documentary, which actually, Carol Baskin's ass might get nailed to the fucking wall, and I'm so excited about that, because there's a police department looking into the case again. and that's awesome. I hope that bitch gets what she deserves. But anyways, the influx of documentaries and actually having television shows about something and teach you something and kind of expand your knowledge. It's kind of neat to see. It's not just garbage television. But anyways, we're over here. Got her in here safe and sound. So we're gonna go ahead and get this dropped off and all that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging on with my babbling. So I like to talk about different things, So anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video and everything else. And we'll catch you in the next run. What we're gonna be hauling, I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and take it easy. We'll catch you in the next one.